If you're a lineman in charge of keeping the lights on, Grainger understands that you go to great lengths and sometimes heights to ensure the power is always flowing, which is why you can count on Grainger for professional-grade products and next-day delivery, so you have everything you need to get the job done. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey Ghoul friends, it's me, Adrian, or Aiden. Either way, I am still your host, and you are still listening to Susto. Ghoul friends, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here, and if this is your first time or you're coming on over here from one of the other feed drops, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm so happy you're here. Ghoul friends, as I mentioned in the last episode, I am taking the month of December off, so that means that I have recorded this from another time and another dimension. Just kidding, this means that I recorded this a couple weeks ago, because I wanted to take the month of December off just to kind of recenter, regroup, spend time traveling with my friends and family, and just kind of enjoying the holiday. I hope that you are also enjoying it, however, wherever, whatever you celebrate. I hope that you're having a good time. I hope you're having a relaxing time. And if you're not, I hope that I can help contribute in a positive way. Either way, I didn't want to leave you empty-handed, as I mentioned before. So before I let you know who you will be listening to today, I just want to remind you that if you have your own scary story that you want me to share on a Letters from the Beyond episode, or if it's a picture, video, audio, recording, anything else that you think I should share on the socials, you can send that via DM to the socials. That's at Susto Podcast across every platform. You can send it in an email to sustopodcast@gmail.com. You can send it through my website. That's www.sustopodcast.com. Or you can leave it in the Spotify Q&A or a 5-star Apple Podcasts review. And remember, the easiest way to support the show is by pressing all of those little buttons on your favorite podcast platform. Like, share, rate, review, whatever you can do on there. It means the world to me. And again, it's the easiest way to support the show. With that being said, I'll go ahead and introduce you to this week's guest, the Paranormal Putas.
There are shows in this world that we will never fully understand, except Ghost Adventures. We have watched every episode to build our obsession, our fandom.
Watching alongside each other because no one we know really gives a damn. Watching Zach and crew catch groundbreaking proof of the paranormal, inspiring us to explore our own interest in otherworldly phenomena. This is our podcast. We are Paranormal Putas.
What's going on? Where are we?
I don't know.
This is a weird little space.
I don't know this place.
It's nice and clean and put together.
As Homer Simpson once said, I'm somewhere where I don't know where I am.
Oh shit, I think we're in Susto's feed, man.
Oh shit, bro.
This is where Susto lives, huh?
No wonder it's much cleaner, nicer, organized.
We're gonna fuck all that up for his listeners today. What up, everybody? It's me, Leah.
And it's me, Bethany.
And we're the Paranormal Putas. Woo! And we are here to fuck up your ear holes.
Yeah. I was just going to say something like that, too.
We know y'all are used to your favorite girlfriend, Aiden, but today you get these two loud asses, yeah?
First and foremost, we would like to thank Aiden of the podcast Susto
Woo!
for allowing us to chop up his space.
Just to make a real mess.
We're really excited to be here and...
Yeah, and share with y'all really an episode of one of our live sessions. So
For this particular episode, it is part 4 of live sessions inside of a shop here in Austin called Curia, Arcanum, House of Curiosity. And we talked to the owner, Frank, and one of the employees, Consuelo, who is also an East Side gal. Woo-woo. And this is our conversation with Consuelo, and we wrap up the little series here.
Oh, yeah. So definitely, we hope y'all enjoy, and we'll see you on the other side. All right. Hey, everybody. It's me, Leah.
And me, Bethany.
And we're the Paranormal Putas. Woo, 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 woo. And we are very excited to be back with the one and the only Consuelo. What up, girl?
Hey. Like I said before, started on the east side. Now I'm known worldwide, at least in my head.
East side in the house. Whoa, whoa, woo, woo.
I love it. All right. So today we wanted to talk a little bit about divination, because last time we spoke, you mentioned we talked about how, you're very intuitive and in tune and you've talked about doing readings before. When did you notice you were like an intuitive and got deeper into like divination?
Okay, so I'm going to tell y'all a funny story about when I was like in 4th or 5th grade. I went to a sleepover. Somebody had a Ouija board, and I didn't know what it was. Mm. And we decided to go ahead and play it, and then all hell broke loose. No, I'm just joking.
She opened portals.
Clouds and thunder.
And like I had told you guys before in our last interview, I had already known that one of my uncles and one of my aunts, they read tarot cards.
Right.
And I had explained to you guys how my uncle had always told us how to be in tune with everything around us, that everything had a reason for being and everything had a life and an energy. So that was already put there, right. That was like the stepping stones. And then I was thinking about this last night and over the last couple of days, how I had told you guys about seeing little people jump on me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When I was growing up, I'd be laying in bed and I'd see like all these just little flecks of lights, and I think that it was just already there. It was just already there. And either you're going to push it away or you're going to call it, and I always had that fascination of like, what is,
right.
What is, what is God? What is energy? What is the infinite? What is, witchcraft? I grew up in a time where Bewitched, the show Bewitched was really popular, and I'd sit there just riveted, watching it, just, letting my imagination go wild, and always being an artist and having like that connection to source. Mm-hmm. Because I think that if you talk to most artists, they will tell you the same thing, that they're channeling something, even if it's from music to actually drawing to any type of poetry or even any kind of books. You're channeling something, Mm-hmm. You're channeling something outside of yourself, because I know that I wouldn't be able to do some of the stuff that I do without that source. I just always just felt like a connection to want to know outside of that scope of what everybody else had said might be God, might be ghosts, might be some kind of other energy. I just wanted to know what it was. I still do. And I still seek it. Now I did tell y'all you have to let those things come to you as well. So I don't I don't jump in head first. I'll test the waters a little bit and see how comfortable I feel.
Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you or do you still use any kind of like tools for your divination?
For a long time, I did read tarot, and I had gotten to a point where I started drawing out my own tarot cards, and unfortunately, somebody decided to steal them.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, because it had taken like 3 years.
Oh my God!
To draw up the first, the major arcana.
Yeah,
and then at that point, I just kind of let it go.
Yeah.
I was like, I wanted to create my own deck. That's why I just love what Frank has done. Mm-hmm. It's inspiring to me again, So once that happened, I kind of changed changed the way I would do some divination. I've done some pendulums, and of course, like I did dabble with, an Ouija board when I was younger. And I learned that really quickly, anything that you open, you need to shut immediately. If it does not feel right, it needs to be shut down. And so I haven't touched any of that stuff. Any type of readings that I do nowadays, once again, goes back to those little energies, those little lights that I see. I see that on people. On some people I can read it a lot more stronger. On some people, like I said, they're like a door.
Yeah.
And in some people, you don't want to go there. You don't want to cross that boundary.
Right.
If somebody's open to it and they ask me, then I will participate and say, okay, this is what I know, and this is what I feel. Lots of times, that's why I ask, what color do you think, or what color is the first thing that comes to mind whenever you shut your eyes. Now, I've done this experiment on my nieces. When they were tiny girls, I would ask them, what color are you feeling today? And they would tell me, oh, I'm feeling, red. So the color red has a lot of energy around it. That is like your root chakra. That's what grounds you to the earth. So when you're young, you're still growing. You're rooted to this earth, and you're like learning and you're receiving. And you have all of that energy, that just growing energy in you. And I could see it in them, that they were just really in touch with their feminine growing up. And they had the tendency, these two nieces of mine, I'm going to say their names, Natalia and Sylvia, they had the tendency to also seek some of the things that I enjoyed. So they always loved reading about vampires. I remember buying one of them a vampire book, and she carried it around. She'd start asking people questions about, so do you sleep at night? Or do you like to sleep during the day? And she'd tell me, I think that they're a vampire. So when did you start to dabble on the dark side, she'd ask.
That's awesome.
So it's just been something that's always been there in my family.
Yeah.
And that's why I asked you about what color do you see?
Yeah.
Bethany,
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what color do you see, Leah? When you
If I close my eyes right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh. No, it's weird. It's like I don't know. It's kind of, it's dark, but then it's light on the outside, almost like a gray or a white, but there's dark in the middle.
Okay.
So it's not one color.
Okay.
It's weird.
It's okay. So we were already discussing this because earlier what I did was Leah's not feeling very well, so I did some scalp massages and tried to move some energy around in her body.
Tell them what you really like. She put her finger and rubbed really
I violated her.
She violated it. Give me the best head rub of my life.
I violated her with my fingers.
It was brutal. It was intense.
That's great.
Because it is like that intuitive thing that I feel. I was like, I bet you're feeling it more on your right side. And you said, yes.
Yeah.
And it's moving that energy around so that way it has some place to go. My mom used to tell me, tienes las manos bien calientes. I'm like, really? I'm all Mr. Miyagi.
It's true.
Got them hot in.
It's true. I felt them. When you hit me with the whoosh down my arms, I was like, oh, there it goes. I was like, they're gone. They're gone. The demons are gone.
This house is cleansed.
That's how you made me feel. Yes.
Oh my God, I love it. So is that your main technique, or do you have any other techniques or methods that you use? Because we've talked about, you've got the hands, you ask about the color.
Magic hands.
Yeah.
And they bake some hella good cupcakes. Let's talk about what these hands do, all right?
Oh my Lord.
Sorry.
You know, I did, like I said, I have used different types of things for divination. I always had a fascination of wanting to read tea leaves as well.
Yeah.
So I think that, I might dabble in that. I might look into that. Lots of times I just feel like, when I'm really channeled and centered into source, then that's going to say a lot to me. Source tells me a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
With different people. And it's different with everybody because some people actually need to see. They have to have that card in front of them so they can see it. Yeah. It's a validation of whatever it is that they may be feeling, or a validation of whatever it is that they're needing. And it helps with the experience. Now, for most people that read cards or do any type of divination like that, I mean, it helps them with whoever they're reading for to just, it pulls them together, really. What will happen is that each person has a different interpretation of the cards. My interpretation might be a little bit different than Frank's. It might be a little bit different than the lady that's over at the flea market on 290. It could be a little bit more different.
It's true.
Yeah.
And it could mean something else to you.
Right.
One time Frank was like, "Oh, let me read your cards." I was like, "Okay." So we're sitting downstairs, and he pulled out some cards, and one of them was the Tower. Oh, girl. And he just looks at me, and I'm like, the Tower. and my thinking is, okay, let's start here. When you think of the Tower, what do you think of?
I think of everything coming down, because even in the image, things are falling, things being destroyed, but I always see it as almost like a door opening, because yes, this is going to be torn down, but what's going to be built up in its place.
Right. What about you?
Man, I don't think I have any real thought. I'm also not that educated on the cards and all that, so I don't think I have a direct. Yeah.
So with the Tower, it is complete destruction.
Yeah.
It is like you've built something, and either one of the things is it's not stable.
Yeah.
Or two, you need to recreate whatever it is that you've built because it is not working.
Yeah.
Okay. So he read that card, and I was like, okay. My interpretation when I saw it was like, all right, something that I have is not stable. I'm going to have to reinforce it with a different way of thinking, with a different energy, with a new beginning.
Yeah.
When I look at something that's completely broken down, I have the opportunity to create a new beginning, and then I can create whatever it is that I want.
Right.
Not something that's already been placed in front of me. My boyfriend lost his job 3 days later.
Oh, wow.
Man.
Okay, so let me tell you what happens. My boyfriend loses his job.
Yeah.
And then it freezes.
Yeah.
Remember? And my boyfriend, he's amazing. Okay, he's on it. He's on it. He cannot sit still, number one. He's very intuitive as well. He's like, hey, I'll be back. So he goes out and he's rescuing people. He's out rescuing people like, oh, your tree fell on your car. Let's move it. I have a chainsaw in the back of my truck. And he started building something different for himself. Yeah. And I got to watch that. And my job as his partner is to help reinforce that.
Right.
Going like, hey, you know what? Maybe this is a great direction for you.
Right.
What it did for me was like, okay, I had just started working for Frank within the couple of months, and what it did for me was to say, hey, you know what? This is the place that I want to be.
Yeah.
I love it here. This is my home, and I'm building here as well. Because like I mentioned to you guys before, this is a community. You guys, when you walked in, you said, I love being here.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how we want you to feel. All are welcome. I told Frank that for Halloween I was going to dress up like the lady from Poltergeist, the psychic. He's like, oh my God, that would be great.
That's hilarious. Yes. That's fantastic.
That would be awesome.
Can you share with us any notable experiences or insights you might have gained through like your channeling into source?
What is your friend that's here? He's over here somewhere.
My friend?
Yeah.
Nathan?
Nathan. I was telling Nathan a story earlier. So, you guys, I repurpose and reuse a lot of stuff. I do my jackets. I sew. I pull things apart, recreate stuff. Okay. So I was telling Nathan that I was at the Goodwill bins. Now, this is between us. I'm not going to tell you which one it was at. So you guys out there, don't say anything to Goodwill. I was walking around at the bins, and I was like, man, I'm going to find some money today. So whatever that is that I put out there, that I set out there, that intention, I'm going to find money today. Whether it's I'm going to find a badass jacket or clothing that I can repurpose and resell, whatever. Found a jacket, looked through the pockets, I was like, threw it back into the bins. It's a nice jacket, can't really use it. Sometimes I'll buy books, and sometimes I'll bring them in. Maybe Frank will want them, whatever. So I walk over to another bin and I pick up a book, and I'm like, this is cool. This is a really nice book. I actually have it downstairs right now. And I'm walking around the store, and I'm like, I'm going to make sure that all the pages are there, that there's not any cuckoos in it. I open up the pages, like, as I'm leaving the store and have paid for it, and there's money in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about intention.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it wasn't a whole bunch of money. It wasn't like thousands of dollars. It's like I go and buy a drink at Mickey D's.
Yeah.
But hey, it was hot outside. I needed an icy drink. And maybe some fries.
Yeah. Hey, it's money you didn't have before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So everything is about intention.
Mm-hmm.
It's about intention.
How do you continue to develop your skills? Because you talk about like how it's intention and and also it's like a natural ability that you've like nurtured. So how do you keep developing them?
The first word that comes to me is faith.
Mm-hmm.
Faith, meditation, and prayer. Okay, so a lot of people don't like to use the word God.
Mm-hmm.
It scares people. We've discussed this. They don't like to use the word Jesus. They don't like to use any of those words. They don't like to use the word Christian, none of those words. So I say source. Okay, for me, I pray and I meditate daily, and I ask source, use me for the best. Take my mouth and use me as a way to spread your love in the best way possible. Whether it is saying something kind to somebody, doing some kindness to myself, because I can be really hard on myself. Like maybe I'm not where I should be at, this, that. I mean, that's not from source. Source is kind and loving. Maybe call me the greatest optimist, but you know what? I've been through a lot of shit in my life. Okay? So I ask source to use me, please, for the greatest good, and ask for whatever the greatest good for the greatest number is. Because maybe today the greatest good was making cupcakes that everybody likes.
Yeah.
Maybe the greatest good is that people were hot walking in from outside and we have some nice cold water.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the greatest good that I can do today.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what keeps me in tune, I look at all the things that go on outside, the struggles that people have, and I'm like, I am so grateful and blessed that all of my needs are covered. All of my needs are covered.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with that, because there was a time when it wasn't so easy.
Yeah.
It's a little bit easier today. So I think that's what keeps me in alignment and understanding the struggle and seeing the struggle in others, and knowing that, like, we're all the same when it comes right down to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I explained to you guys about, you know, the energy that is inside all of us, inside of our cells.
Right.
You know, where does that come from? That's paranormal.
Yeah.
We can't explain that. But each one of us has that, so we're all connected when it comes right down to it. You know, so that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing.
I agree. I like that.
And it's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely perspective.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel that. Yeah, otherwise the tower would have beat my ass.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Has there ever been a time where your intuition like saved you from a bad situation?
Mm.
Oh, many times. Many times, but that also leads back to source. You know, that leads back to source for sure. And hearing and following that intuition and never second guessing it.
Yeah.
And hearing that voice. I mean, we all have that.
Yes.
You know, I remember, I like to tell some people this story. I remember being a little kid and not always having everything that I wanted. And I remember going to a store and stealing something. And that feeling that I had was just in my belly. It was just like, ugh, I hated it. I didn't like feeling that because it wasn't something that I needed. It was something that I wanted. Well, that feeling was source telling me, maybe you shouldn't be doing that. Because eventually I got caught. Eventually I got caught, so, you know. But, you know, it's like feeling that and knowing that intuition and following it.
Yeah.
So it could have been, you know, a battery of things that have happened. I can't just pinpoint one thing. You know, I can't, because there's been so many instances.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have been in recovery for like over 10 years. You know, there were times where, you know, really bad things could have happened, and source is what saved my life. Because it could have been either getting in the wrong car, you know, from drinking and driving.
Yeah.
It could have been using drugs that could have been the end of me.
Yeah.
But there's a reason that I'm here, you know, because I have put myself in really bad positions, you know, but source and listening to that gut feeling. And I don't think that we follow that enough, because lots of times just as a person, we have so many self-doubts.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we also have a lot of things keeping us from it. A lot of distraction in
Absolutely.
this world.
Absolutely. That's why it is so important. And Frankie and I were talking about this yesterday. There's a box that's over there in the library that is about dreams, and you follow this 10 or 12 day regimen of writing a journal, burning a certain type of incense, reading a book, and so you journal what's going on and how it's affecting your dreams, and you take that time for yourself. And I was like, man, so it's like an evolution that's happening, you know, in this short 12-day journey, you know. And he was like, yeah, kind of. And I think that in that self-care, people have to remember that. Take that 1 hour for yourself to get in touch with source, get in touch with the energy of this beautiful world, the beautiful things, and even sometimes the bad things. You gotta go like, hey, you know, what can I do to help change this energy? So I would recommend going and looking at that box. I can't remember what it's called at the moment. Had a really big long name, you know. And leave those big long names to Frank. I'm just like, you know, that box with the dream stuff.
Leah, don't you have a dream journal thing, or like, haven't you started something like that?
I've started doing that because I've just feel it's been recently I'm having dreams that I can actually remember. I've heard, you know, we probably dream every night, but it's just a matter of remembering them. And now I'm remembering stuff. So like, yeah, I'm waking up, and if I recall, I'm making quick note of it, and then trying to just, like you said, kind of tie it back to what's either happening the day prior, or what's kind of the underlying theme, or what I feel is missing, or what's the emotion that's really driving it. So I've started making note of some of the things that I'm experiencing while in the dream state.
And see, that's really important, all the archetypes. I am a fan of Carl Jung. You know, I've read a lot of his books. I think that he really had a way of explaining the outer part of spirit with the inner connection of spirit with a lot of the archetypes that he expressed in his books. So I totally get that.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. Do you dream in black or in white, or do you dream in color?
I
Do you
dream
remember?
in color, mostly. Yeah, in color. It's always in color. Yeah.
And what
I won't
about
think
you,
about it.
Bethany?
I dream in color, but I speak better Spanish in my dreams.
Oh, that's good.
Hey, south of
I
the
never
border,
speak
baby.
Spanish in my dreams.
I
no.
speak Spanish quite a bit,
No.
or like there are conversations in my dreams where we're speaking Spanish, and I mean, I try to keep up with it because if you don't use it, you lose it, and I've lost a lot of it over the years, but yeah.
It's your ancestors speaking to you, girl.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
But yes, color.
Yeah, yeah, that's very cool because there's not a lot of people that actually dream in color. They dream in segmented bits in black and white. It's like a black and white movie, just little bits of this or that.
Yeah.
But one of the cool things that I have learned is how to control my dreams. I don't know if you guys know how to do
lucid
that.
dreaming?
Yes. Because I would have, and I hate to talk about it, I had a lot of just like the type of dreaming where you are awake and you're asleep and you were completely paralyzed.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
To where I would hear things around me. And I think I told you guys that I had those to where the bed actually moved.
Yes.
Right.
And I had to learn how to control those dreams because I was over it.
Yeah.
I probably live on 4 hours of sleep.
Oh,
Jeez.
Yeah, my boyfriend's like, you need to go to bed. And I'm like, how can you tell? Just do it. You're really grouchy. I'm like, you think?
oh my God, that's hilarious.
It's true. Though. Eating, I'll just go like, I don't care, blah, blah, blah. Sleep, I am a monster. Because it's like I will get into pattern of like I will have something on my mind. Maybe it's a piece of art that I want to work on. It's whatever, reading, and I will just go full tilt into it. And then I don't sleep, and then I'll think about it even when I'm trying to go to sleep. Like I really need to finish this. Or I really need to do this, and so I work on like 4 hours of sleep daily, and it's not good. And in that 4 hours somewhere, I have to take that little bit of time to meditate and pray.
Yeah.
Because if I don't, then I'm really cuckoo for coconut. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad.
That's interesting about lucid dreaming. I think I've had like one lucid dream before, and man, I don't know. I haven't been able to do it since.
Yeah. You can have some really interesting experiences, or you can have some really scary ones. And I've always had very, very scary ones. I don't like them. I would prefer not to ever have to deal with them. And I've had to learn how to just control it. Like when I start to go into it, I'm like, no, I am the master. I am the master of this dream. I am Shira. I am, I am the master of this dream. I can control this. I don't let anything else, get in there to change that.
Yeah.
Because once I start losing control in that dream, like I will wake up just like, so scared. It'll throw me off all day long, or have those dreams where, it just still feels like something is just not right anymore.
Yes.
It's
yes,
soul
yes, yes.
stealing,
Yeah.
it feels
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. I've been having a lot of nightmares lately, which is weird.
You did mention that the other day. Yeah.
About like haunted houses and stuff.
Yeah.
I wonder
That
why.
shit was crazy, right?
Tell her, girl. Tell her.
Whatever. Moving on.
Wonder why, Bethany.
We actually have holy water downstairs.
I need more Florida water is what I need. I wanted to ask you earlier, do you take any like steps or precautions when like you're about to read someone or come into contact with someone like whose energy you're gonna kind of suck up or.
Well, you see, I try not to.
Yeah.
I try not to
Yeah.
suck any of that energy up, even after working on your sister. I mean, didn't you see me go like this?
Oh, yeah. She threw it
'cause-
off and then
yeah.
hand sanitized. I was
Yeah, I was like,
very smart.
So you toss it.
yeah, I'm just like, this needs to go back to wherever it came from.
Yeah.
I actually do. And there have been times when I have been here and have felt certain things and just been like, okay, I can't do this. Now, there's also been times where, like, at my other career, being around certain people, I start to feel things as well. And I have to remember that is not mine to keep.
Yeah.
I cannot own that. Just like anything in life, we don't really own anything. It's just it's borrowed.
It's temporary.
Right, it's temporary. And so I just give it back to wherever it needs to go. I'm like, this isn't mine. It doesn't belong to me. Go back to wherever you need to go because this is not me.
Yeah.
And when there has been something that stuck, whether it's an energy or a sadness, I think to myself, this person needs a lot of healing. And I just send out, prayers and love to them and just hope that and pray that the divine, that source embraces them.
Yeah. What advice would you give to someone who is kind of starting their journey into tapping into their intuition and getting into divination?
I would say try to understand both sides, the spiritual and the psychological parts of it. Because I think there's a fine line between genius and madness, like they say. There's a fine line between madness and anything that has to do with the supernatural or the paranormal. Because we have vast imaginations as people. And you can teeter. You can teeter to where you can create an insanity, an obsession.
Right.
And that is a spirit within itself. So you're calling on something that you don't need. So I would follow with, meditation, making sure that, you're centered. Reading philosophy as well, because there's a spiritualism to that too. So reading philosophy, and then if you're wanting to get into divination or something of that sort, find something that you feel comfortable with, that you connect with. Like I said, I was drawing my own cards, and then they got stolen. Because that's how I connected. I used to love reading the sacred cards that are Native American, that are animal cards. I used to love reading those, because I felt connected to that. Because I know that I told you guys that I had done Sweat Lodge for many, many years. Yeah. Those are some incredible stories as well. The things that I've seen in Sweat Lodge, holy smoke. Holy smoke. Just the most beautiful yet terrifying things that you could think of.
Yeah.
And have had like physical experiences going into Sweat Lodge with people that didn't always have the right intention either, and having negative experiences and having to learn how to disconnect that energy too. Mm-hmm. But I would for sure say, read philosophy, do a lot of prayer and meditation, take time to do self-care, and remember, you have to pump the brakes. Don't become obsessed. It's like anything else in life. It's the roll of the dice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's certain things that we can make happen, and there's certain things that just aren't going to happen. Mm-hmm. And once again, perspective. Mm-hmm. And I still want to read you.
Maybe you can.
Do it.
You mentioned Carl Jung. I don't remember. Is he the one that talks about shadow work and stuff?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I thought so.
Lots of shadow work.
Yeah.
And that's important because we all have that. We all have that light and that darkness in us.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about. With that self-doubt and the self-depreciation and the negative talk, right. And knowing that we are both filled with spirit and darkness, mm-hmm. Light and darkness.
Yeah. Duality, right?
There is a duality.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, because that's just how we're made. We're so just incredible. incredibly made by source.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and it's about choices.
Yeah.
It's all about choices.
I was having a wild conversation. This kind of reminds me of recently with my friend who's here that you mentioned, and we were just talking about just the weirdness of existence, and how we perceive things to be solid, but they're not. We're just at such a high vibration that, you know, we can't pass through things, right? And just kind of how wild that is. And it just kind of reminds me of what you're saying of like how amazing we're built, or like, you know, how incredible it is, you know, that how Source has created this whole universe, really.
Yeah, but when you start thinking about vibrations and cells and all that, then you're getting into, you know, a different type of science. Then that's when you're getting into like the quantum physics of things.
Yes.
The quantum.
Yes.
Anything that has to do with that and the vibrations and being in two places at once. Because why can't we be? Because we can be physically in our body, and at night our brain is still active, and we're somewhere else,
Elsewhere.
in a completely different dimension.
Yes.
that stuff
like astral
rocks.
projection type of stuff going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's why I love, you know, this kind of conversation, because you can go into stuff like Carl Jung and metaphysics and science, and, you know, and it all connects, you know?
Absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm saying, if you're getting into any type of divination, look at all of these other things in front of you as well, to get a grasp of the bigger picture, not just of, I'm going to pick up these cards, I'm going to learn how to read them, and that's that. There's a bigger picture.
Yes.
There's a way bigger picture.
I like that.
So we're down to we've got about like 16, maybe 20 minutes if we want to stretch it out. If you would like to read me, I'm down, but we also agreed that you would read Leah if you want to take a moment.
But she says I always make her cry.
I cry all the time.
But that's what I love about you.
I'm an open book. That's why it'll probably be too easy for you. She's the hard nut to crack here. So I'll leave it to you.
Or you
You're
can
our
do
guest.
both of us
You're
if
our
you want.
guest,
You
yeah.
can do it at the same time.
Whoa. Talk about a show.
We are the Paranormal Putas.
Well.
We never offered that to any other guest.
You're special.
Dang.
It was the cupcakes.
Why do I feel like I just won the lotto?
It was the cupcakes. I love it.
So, you know, I focus on you so much. I focus on you so much because I there's just certain things that I see.
Okay.
You know, the last time you told me, and I remembered that you saw like black and green.
Yes.
So, what is black? People think that it's a void of color. No, it's not. It's all of the colors combined. You know, green is your heart.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, and I feel that you're on this incredible journey that you haven't told anybody about.
Oh my goodness. Wow. I need more cupcakes now.
Like, it's going to be an emotional day. We need more cupcakes.
Yes. Oh, I always need one cup. No.
Whew.
Do you have any other questions?
No. I think that's if that's where we're gonna end it. That's how you end it, you know?
Mic drop.
Yeah.
Yes. No, thank you for that. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
No, I just, like I said, I believe in what you guys are doing and what you represent and who you represent. And I admire that, and I love it, and I expect nothing but the best from you guys. Always. Always.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. And you ladies know where to find me.
Always.
Oh, yes.
And if anybody, you know, out there having a listen, you can come chat with her here at Curia Arcanum. And she's also a fantastic stylist.
Yes.
Thank you. What I will say is that if somebody wants a reading, I'm not like, hey, you have to give me money. I'm not like that. Bring me a cupcake. No, you know, it's not like that for me. I don't think about that. I think about, like, how can I serve somebody? Because in healing other people, you're healing yourself as well. Mm-hmm. You know, so if you ever want to come in and talk to me, by all means. Now, I don't know everything. I'm not going to give you any, educated guesses. If something comes to me and stands out, then I'm going to say something. And if it doesn't, then I'm going to be really honest. So that's where I stand on that.
Yeah. And I think that's the best way to be. Like, why try to force something, because there are people out there that will try to force something just for a quick dollar,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, just come and visit us. Just come and see us. We have a lot of beautiful personalities here. We have a lot of beautiful things to look at. The strange and unusual.
Yeah. And like you said earlier, we were like, we love being here. It's just such an awesome place to be, Very cool. Yay. Well, thank you so much again for coming on and making us cry again.
Every time I'm with you, you get me to cry. Thanks.
I'm sure we'll see you soon.
I hope so. We got to go to Joe's.
Yeah. We're ready for some Joe's.
Mm-hmm.
Woo! Right. Hey, welcome back.
Welcome back. You're on the other side. You made it.
You made it. Thanks. I guess that means we didn't suck too hard.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed that conversation that we had with Consuelo. It was such a fun time doing these live session interviews. It was just so cool to have people there watching us and laughing with us in real time. Yeah, man, it was pretty wild.
It was pretty wild. And if you like what you heard, definitely we want you to check out sessions 1 through 3. Again, you can find that at Paranormal Putas, wherever podcasts are found. Just look up Paranormal Putas and we're there.
Yeah. And if you want to hear the reading that Consuelo gave us, you have to become a Patreon.
Yeah. We sell bits of ourselves. But we're all out here just trying to make it. And again, if you're down to support your local putas, hit us up at paranormalputas.com, or you can find us on Patreon/paranormalputas.
Hell yeah.
So I guess thanks again to Aiden of the podcast Susto. And something that we like to close our show out with is just a little bit of a cleanse, because maybe sometimes our energy makes you feel a little heavy. So let us help you out.
Give me the power, I beg of you. Give me the power, I beg of you. L'envoi monsieur de Boischelio, ce soir Etienne au bois de mort. Allez, doué, Dumbledore, wake!
Take a big, deep breath in. Release that mother sucker out. We hope that you're a little lighter now.
Oh, yes. Thank you. I feel great.
Well, thanks for hanging out with us today, everyone. We hope to see you on our page sometime soon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see you on the flip side.
Oh, yeah.
But, per usual, my name is Bethany.
And I'm Leah.
And we're signing off with two besitos.
From these putitos.
If you really want to know what
I
I
wanna
want to
Do not get me started.
Welcome back, Ghoul friends. Weren't they amazing? One more time. Huge shout out to our special guests this week. And again, tune in every week for the month of December for a different guest. Now, I just want to make clear that I am not going to be moving to a weekly schedule. This is just a winter holiday treat for you, and I hope that you enjoy it. I will be back in January. I already miss you so much, and I'm hiding in the walls of your house. I'm kidding, I'm not. But I can't wait to be back. Again, I hope that you're enjoying your break. One more time, if you have your own scary story that you would like me to share on the show, you already know how to send it in. You can send it via email, DM on social media, through my website, a Spotify Q&A, Apple Podcast review. You know how it goes, and the easiest way to support the show is to interact with it wherever you are listening. Make sure to follow me on social media to keep up with what I'm doing throughout the holiday. As far as Patreon goes, that's patreon.com/sustopodcast. Patrons will get these episodes early and ad-free. Best Ghoul friends, you can expect some video content to come out this month. The paranormal investigation that I did with the Paranormal Putas over at the Brass Tap in Round Rock, Texas is going to be a Best Ghoul friend exclusive on Patreon. One more time, I hope that you all are enjoying this holiday season. I cannot wait to be back in January. Until then, I will see you in the next one, and have a very merry, scary holiday. Bye.